All right, let's dive in. Imagine this. You're at Coachella, right? The bass is dropping, the crowd's going wild,
Oh, yeah.
and above it all, a giant LED-studded scorpion is slowly descending from the rafters. Ever stop to think about who makes that happen?
It's incredible, isn't it? The amount of work that must go into something like that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So today, we're going deep on the folks who make those mind-blowing spectacles a reality high riggers.
The unsung heroes behind the scenes, or should we say above them?
Above them is right. They're the ones working tirelessly, often hundreds of feet in the air, to bring these dazzling productions to life.
I mean, we're talking hoisting and securing lighting rigs weighing thousands of pounds. It's a wild combination of construction know-how, technical expertise, and, well,
A touch of daredevil
yeah,
spirit.
exactly.
It's not all just, brute strength, though. Our research really emphasized that this is a highly skilled profession.
Oh, yeah, for
They
sure.
need a deep understanding of physics, engineering, all those safety regulations.
Absolutely. Think about it, calculating load distribution of a lighting truss suspended by cables at all these different angles. That's physics in action, right?
They're basically structural engineers.
With a high-flying twist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, I was surprised to learn just how much goes into ensuring those structures are safe.
Oh, yeah. It's paramount.
Is there anything from the material that really illustrates this?
Hmm. Well, one source talked about dynamic loading. Basically, it's that sudden increase in force on a structure when something, say a lighting truss, is lifted or lowered quickly. They have to factor that into all their calculations, especially when you're talking about moving elements like performers being flown across a stage,
Wow.
specialized software, equipment, everything has to be spot on.
They're practically conducting physics experiments up there.
Yeah. And don't forget the rope access work.
Oh, right.
Right. It's like they're construction workers and highly skilled climbers all rolled into one.
Okay, that's where my stomach might start to churn a little bit.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
Speaking of which, what about that psychological aspect of working at such heights?
Right, right. While our source is mainly focused on the technical stuff,
Yeah.
you'd have to think a certain level of mental fortitude is needed. I mean, working hundreds of feet in the air under pressure, potential for things to go wrong. You need focus, composure. Definitely not a job for everyone.
Cool under pressure, excellent problem-solving skills, and I'd say a healthy dose of adrenaline tolerance.
For sure. And on top of all that, long hours,
Yeah.
evenings, weekends, holidays, all to accommodate the show schedule.
And our material also mentioned that the work can be seasonal.
Oh, absolutely. Weather dependent, too. Outdoor events, Can you imagine?
Being up on a rig during a downpour.
Nerves of steel, my friend.
So we've established high riggers are a unique breed, part engineer, part construction worker, part daredevil. But where they fit into the bigger picture, who are they working with to make these events happen?
Well, I mean, they're part of a much larger team, right? You've got your event planners, stage managers, lighting, and sound technicians,
Of course.
all working together to create that immersive experience for the audience.
It's a very collaborative field then.
Oh, without a doubt.
But with so many moving parts, there's got to be some kind of structure, a hierarchy.
Absolutely. A defined career path.
Yeah.
Yeah, a definite structure for how hirers progress, starting with entry-level roles and climbing to those more senior positions.
Okay, so let's break that down a bit. What can someone just starting out expect? What kind of day-to-day tasks are we talking about?
Well, in those early days, it's a lot of, learning the ropes,
Literally
and
and
figuratively, right? Working closely with experienced mentors, assisting with tasks, assembling rigging components, operating ground-level winches.
so a lot of hands-on learning.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Observing the veterans, taking on more responsibility as they go.
Right, and eventually moving up to those junior high rigger roles.
Exactly.
So what does that next level look like? What's added onto their plate?
At the junior level, they'll start taking on more independent tasks, things like basic rope access maneuvers.
Still with supervision at this point.
Oh, absolutely. Under supervision, of course. Rigging lighter loads, assisting with the setup and strike of the rigging systems.
Still learning, but really starting to contribute more directly.
Yeah, gaining those skills, building confidence.
So then you make that jump to intermediate high rigger.
That's where things get really interesting.
All right, so what makes this level different? What kind of skills do they need to get to this point?
This is where their understanding of physics and engineering, all that stuff we talked about, becomes really, really crucial. They're not just following instructions anymore. They're starting to make more of those critical decisions, load calculations, rigging points, safety procedures, all of that.
So it's their own safety, but they're also responsible for others around them.
Precisely. And they might be leading small teams at this point too,
Mhm.
inspecting equipment, troubleshooting any problems during setup or dismantle.
Oh, wow.
It's a big step up, not just technically, but those leadership skills start coming into play.
Are there any specific certifications needed to reach that level?
It really depends. Every employer, every location, they all have their own requirements. But there are definitely some certifications that give you an edge, like rope access technician certification.
That makes sense.
Shows you've mastered those rope techniques, ascending, descending, working at height, all that.
Hundreds of feet up? Yeah, you'd want someone who knows what they're doing.
Exactly. And then you've got your construction safety certifications, also super valuable.
That makes sense.
It should you understand those workplace hazards, risk mitigation, that sort of thing.
So it's a job, or I guess a career,
Yeah.
really, where you've got to keep learning.
Oh, 100%. Always evolving, new technologies, equipment, safety standards, you name it. Got to stay ahead of the curve.
Attending conferences, training courses.
Yep, it's all part of it. It's a craft. You're always honing it, refining those skills.
But the rewards can be amazing.
Absolutely. For those who are passionate, dedicated, it's a great field to be in.
Speaking of, let's talk about those at the top, the senior high riggers.
The masters of the craft.
What sets them apart?
They haven't just mastered the technical skills, it's more than that. They understand the entire production process inside and out.
So they're not just rigging experts, but leaders, mentors, problem solvers.
Exactly. Senior high riggers, they oversee these huge projects, managing teams of riggers, coordinating with all the other departments, lighting, sound, stage design, everyone.
Wow.
Taking that vision and making it a reality. Making sure every last detail is taken care of, bolts tightened, cables tested, safety protocols followed.
Sounds incredibly demanding,
Oh, for sure.
but also incredibly rewarding.
It is. They're responsible for the safety of everyone working at height. That's huge. Takes a special kind of person to excel at that level.
So that's the core career path, from entry level all the way up to senior high rigger.
Right, working your way up that ladder.
But I understand it's not always about climbing that traditional ladder. There are other paths.
Absolutely. High rigging lets you specialize, really carve out your own niche.
Specializations, right? Going beyond just the rigging itself, what are some of those paths?
Well, one path you could take is becoming a safety supervisor.
Oh, okay. And given the risks, that makes a lot of sense.
Oh, yeah. Can't mess around with safety when you're talking about these heights, heavy equipment, all of that.
For sure. So paint me a picture. Typical day for a safety supervisor in this field. What are they doing?
All right, so picture this. You're a safety supervisor, you arrive on site, it's a big concert setup.
Okay.
Your day is going to involve inspecting all the rigging equipment. Meticulous, looking for any signs of wear and tear, making sure those safety harnesses are good to go.
Like that.
You might run drills with the rigging team, practice emergency procedures.
Right. Because what if?
Exactly. What if there's equipment failure? Someone has a medical emergency up there. You got to be ready.
I imagine they have to stay updated on all the latest regulations, too.
Oh, constantly. Reviewing protocols, attending workshops. Everyone on that team needs to be informed and up to date.
They're responsible for everyone else.
In a lot of ways, yeah. It's a huge responsibility.
Sounds like you need technical knowledge, but also good leadership.
100%. You gotta command a room, communicate clearly, enforce protocols, and you can't crack under pressure.
But you got to be rewarding, too, knowing you're preventing those accidents.
Oh, absolutely. High responsibility, but high impact.
So that's safety supervisor. What other specializations did we find?
Well, how about rigging consultant?
Okay, so they're taking all their hands-on experience
Years of it.
and using it in an advisory role.
Exactly. Think of them like rigging whisperers.
Rigging whisperers, I like that.
Architects, engineers, event planners. They call these guys in to consult on big projects.
What kind of projects are we talking about?
A large-scale outdoor music festival. Helping design rigging for multiple stages, making sure it can handle the weather, the sound, the lighting.
So much to think about.
Oh, they do it all. Problem solving, collaborating, finding creative rigging solutions. They might even provide expert testimony in court cases.
Oh, wow. So not just technical, but good with people, too.
You got it. It's a dynamic path, for someone who enjoys those challenges, being the go-to expert.
And then there are those who, I guess, pay it forward.
The teachers.
The rigging instructors.
That's it. Giving those aspiring high riggers the tools they need to climb safely and confidently.
Leading workshops, I imagine. Teaching all those techniques, from the basics to, like, rescue situations.
Exactly. And you'd be surprised you can find those training programs all over, specialized training centers, vocational schools. Some even travel to different companies.
Oh, cool. So it's really about sharing that passion, seeing their students succeed.
It's about shaping the future of the field, making sure those high-flying dreams are built on a foundation of safety and expertise.
Well said. We started out marveling at these incredible stage setups.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It is, and we learned so much about the dedication, the skills, the guts it takes to make it happen.
It's a career path that flies under the radar for most people, but it's full of challenges, it's rewarding.
Next time I'm at a concert, I'll be thinking about it.
Me too.
The unseen heroes working high above to make sure the show goes on.
Making it look effortless. And whether you're drawn to the calculations, the thrill of it, the teaching aspect, there's a path for everyone in the world of high rigging.
That's a great way to put it. So as we wrap up today, it makes you think what other hidden professions are out there, shaping the world in ways we don't often see.